And 10 of these guys will either have to wait or they're going to go home. 5 will go through, and we're off in semi-final A here in Malta. And it is an absolute washing machine as they head out to the first turn, boy. You can see on the far right of the, or now on the far left of your screen.
It's interesting not to see Matt Hauser in the white jersey, which we saw him in last year.
Is that
Henseleit that has gone right.
Henseleit on the inside.
Has led it. He definitely has. 100.
There's Lewis alongside.
No, it's the Italian Strada.
It is Strada.
Nicolo Strada, the junior who came
on his hip too, which Vincent Lewis will not like.
Be interesting to see what's said as they get out of the water. Listen here, kid. Give me some room.
He's like, no, I'll do what I want. Thank you very much. Already won a race today.
He's a special talent indeed. Tyler Mislachuk is always magnificent in the water. He tends to position himself very well. Very disappointed missing out in the semi-final in Jersey. Really struggled in those cold conditions. They're not cold here, so I expect to see him push up.
Who we really back to have a big weekend this weekend. He's at the back of this swim pack.
He'll love this bike course, Gustav Eden. He'll love it. Vincent
Nicolo Strada and Vincent Lewis.
Strada's gone straight round him. I love him already.
Polyansky, Mislachuk, Henseleit, Vasco Viasa.
Ollie Turner.
Ollie Turner's there as well. There's Royal. But first out of transition is going to be Nicolo Strada.
Wow. He is a committed. Look at him.
Look at him. He's loving it.
He knows it.
Absolutely loving it. The crowd are loving it too, and he's made time with the champion right behind him to wave to the crowd. Mislachuk, Velasa, Turner's had a good start. Polyansky and spent some time with him this week doing the local media rounds.
Nicolo Strada.
Look at him go. He's not even puffed. He's got the smile on his face.
He is having a ball. He is enjoying this immensely, as you would. You have you're probably your idol sitting off your wheel in the pink jersey, Vincent Louis, the current world champion, and you've led him up the first climb past all your friends and family.
So, Strada, Lewis, Mislachuk, sporting a very questionable new moustache. Velasa, Turner, Polyansky, Henseleit, Wild, Dimitri Polyansky, Aaron Royal, who's overtaken Matty Hauser, Leo Berger, Gustav Eden, and Con Doherty. So in 13th position sits the 70.3 world champion, Leo Berger, top 5 athlete from last year, and out the front of all of them,
Hayden Wild, very.
We spoke to him an hour ago. He's had 7 stitches last night in hospital, but he's back out there. So he's gone from Falcon to the Phoenix, rising from the ashes.
Yes.
As Gustav Eden looks like he's been dropped a little off the back here. He's in 14th position. Doherty's managed to bridge over with Berger and Hauser.
You get used to this, don't you? Vincent Lewis is just always on the front of these races. He just finds a way to move up, put himself in position, control the racing, and everyone seems to sit off and...
Oh, big accident there. It's Henseleit. Hayden Wild's been caught up in it as well, and he's trying to get through, but it's Strada that began it.
And Turner,
so he's gone too hard. He's gone too hard, and Henseleit is out. And he's got a problem with the bike, and I think that was Nicolo Strada that began that. Unconfirmed, we'll have to look at it again, but they're all back on the bike.
That's unfortunate for Henseleit. He was right in the mix there. Ollie Turner is not
that
quite
hurts
strong
for
on the
Turner.
bike.
Lewis gets around, Velasa gets around, Mislachuk gets around, Strada on the inside, and Henseleit comes across,
clips the wheel
of Velasa and hits Strada. So apologies to the Italians. It was Henseleit who ran out of room on Velasa, and there is Hayden Wild just trying to find his way through. On the inside goes Eden, Hauser, Doherty, and Berger.
Just shadow Vincent Lewis. He's always going to be close to the front. He's always going to be in the action. The closer we stay to that man, the closer we are to winning this event. And Tyler Mislachuk has not got off his wheel all day.
All right, 7 athletes, and Hayden Wild hasn't had time even to put his feet in his shoes yet. And off they come off the bike. So, Velasa right behind Vincent Lewis. Velasa smart enough to put his bike in backwards, but Lewis hasn't done that. Maybe a second or two.
Hayden Wild in now. Behind Lewis, big transition.
Wild in. And
to go, good transition.
Wild goes.
Aaron
There's
Roll,
Con Doherty.
sloppy.
And here comes. He's still on the way back. And he's the only one. He's the one that Henseleit's chasing as they head off onto the run. Aaron Royal all by himself in 7th position ahead of Doherty and Strada. But at the front, it's the world champ.
Vasco Velaka just shadowing him all day. He's got a committed race. This committed race for him, and this much different to what we're seeing him do in Jersey. Velasa and Tyler Mislachok just off the back of him. I'm wondering if they're going to let this gap open. I was expecting Gustav Eden to...
He missed out on the final by 1 second in Jersey, and that's no mean feat. And also no mean feat, moving up into third position after getting caught up in that accident. Hayden Wild ahead of Tyler Mislachuk.
Look at the power in this top 7, like the man in pink as possible.
When you look at someone like Velasa, who is racing against what is now the world champion, Hayden Wild,
future
race
world
winner, future world champion. Behind them, Tokyo Test event winner Tyler Mislachuk. But you look at Velasa, who feels like the odd man out. He's only 20 years of age.
Yeah.
He already has 33 odds. Lewis.
Hayden
Wild. And then a little bit of air back to Velasa, Mislachuk, and Gustav Eden, who was 11th about 10 minutes ago and has moved himself up into 5th with Bergier. But Mislachuk has Velasa to swim with now.
And Mislachuk's a fantastic swimmer. He'll like the open water. He'll like to have that free space to move with two athletes in front of him to mark and to target. If Velasa can stay on his feet and just give him that ability to close that gap, I think he potentially could close in on Hayden Wild, depending on how much Vincent Lewis wants to push it. Hayden dives straight onto... As a big swimmer, it's usually these second swims where you can use your strength to open up. Ollie Turner eliminated.
He'll be very upset with how this has played out
as well.
Turner and Henselite. So
all three of them. So he's just always in control. He's no weakness across the board. They shadow him in the racing. They allow him to dictate terms, and you can't out-kick him. You can't out-swim him. You can't. It doesn't seem you can outdo anything. You can't do anything to him, and he's just opened up a gap again like he did in Jersey over the world's best athletes.
Well, the big question is, will the bike
in front of this race since the first stroke and hasn't let up?
Comes out of the swim under 20 minutes for 4 legs of this race. Tucks it all into the top of his jersey, and with the number 1 on his back and the pink, Vincent Lewis jumps on the S-Works Venge once again.
Great swim by Tyler Mislachok.
Mislachuk comes out in second position ahead of Velasa and Wild. So there's your chasing pack. We'll be looking for the short shoot for tomorrow. But is there a short shoot that Vincent Lewis has not picked up in Super League racing over the last 12 months? I don't think there is.
No, there's
I think he's had the advantage every time.
Aaron Royal with a great swim was able to take Gustav Eden with him, and he's brought Leo Bergier up. So these three need to work very, very hard together. Tyler Mislachok would be aware of that. There's some danger here, being so close to those three in front. 3 makes 6, which is 7. It doesn't go into 5. And you do not want to leave yourself open to relying on times with the amount.
Polyansky's smart enough to know that he needs to get to that mountain line and get eliminated for the clock to stop.
Because
Doherty's just stopped.
That was a rookie mistake by Doherty, because Polyansky now has been eliminated.
Well, he still hasn't been eliminated.
Well, he's been eliminated before Doherty, so if it comes back on the count back, I highly doubt that it will. Polyansky will get that spot over Doherty.
So Doherty's day is finished. Igor Polyansky's day finished, but it continues and gets better for Vincent Lewis. Dmitry Polyansky, the brother, he is also out. He is, by his own admission, not at full fitness. And he'll also pay an extra 5 seconds. Velasa, Mislachuk and Wild stuck together and working together, but they can't even take a second on Vincent Lewis. Eden, Bergier and Royal are now bunched together in a second group of 3, and that is your top 7 with Hauser all alone in 8th.
Look at that. There's 3 against 3 there, and that's the importance of that little race there. Forget Vincent Lewis. He's going to get the short shot. He's going to win this semi-final. But 3 against 3, the 6 behind are racing for 4 positions. I say that because the top 5 are into the final. And all of those, it'll be a match race between them, because I cannot pick a difference in the run leg. It'd be, I'd say Tyler Mislachuk is probably the better runner. Gustav Eden may find himself, I think Hayden Wild would get through. But Velasa showed in that first run that he's committed to a final slot, and he'll turn himself inside out to get it.
Wild now, we know how good he is up the hills. Mislachuk enjoys the hills as well, and Velasa looks like he just enjoys the fight, and he's certainly doing what he said and giving us a better showing than what he had as they head down the bottom of the course. And he's only just made that. We'll have to wait and see. But that dismount line comes up on you really, really quick. So He'll know he may have made an error there, Vincent Lewis, and he's going to need to run this one out. We'll get confirmation as soon as possible from our race director. There he is.
Hayden Wild next in, always quick in transition. Hayden, and Velasa needs a big transition here. I think Tyler Mislichok, of these four that have gone, was the softest in the first run, whether that was a tactical thing.
No, he's lost them. He's lost them. He's gone. He's too slow there. He didn't get his bike in right.
Gustav Eden, I'd hate him to be chasing me down. Leo Bergier, a big runner, and Aaron Royal in our red jersey. Technically our fastest runner from Jersey.
He just didn't quite get the bike in properly and then had a little bit of trouble. And Gustav Eden, there's people walking onto the course there. Unfortunate. But when you need to deliver a pizza, you need to deliver it. He's not getting any warmer.
Michael Dills is probably hungry.
He's the boss. If he wants a pizza, he gets it. And speaking of the boss, Vincent Lewis goes up the hill for the second last time. Keep an eye on that clock. We'll see if anyone in semi-final B can best it. Wild has a look up the hill.
Velasa will chase Wild. He'll stick with Wild. He knows that Wild will be his ticket to stay in that top five. Just a big step up from being eliminated in Jersey in the semi-final to saying he's a lot better than what he is, to coming out and proving it. Big race.
Race one.
They've never been able to catch him, and this will just be another day that they fail to do so. A little bit of a victory lap at the end there for Vincent Lewis. High fives all the way up the hill. The crowd really turning out here on semi-final day, and they're doing it to watch Vincent Lewis continue on his winning ways here in Malta. Takes the short shoot and the tape in semi-final A. Hayden Wild recovers from getting caught in the accident and getting 7 stitches to the face to finish ahead of Mislichok. Velasa, who's given everything.
Bergier needs to
Gustav
push.
Eden. Leo Bergier will come across the line in what looks like a 32-33 for 6th position. Royal will finish 7 seconds back in the 32-40. They are unconfirmed time.
In just over 25 minutes.